Nice. Let me get these fans turned off. Ooh, 95 today. Okay, let's take a look. All right, what's on the schedule for today? Let's see. What we got? What do we got? All right, let's see. Ooh, we need some updates. That's okay. What? Oh, for Spa? Yeah, I don't mind Spa. We'll get that going. All right. Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. I'll be honest, I don't know this track. I don't know this track at all. In fact, I bought it last night, getting ready for the idea that I might be doing the streaming thing. Oh, I'll be right back. I know that's not a good way to start something on the stream. I promise it'll be worth it. That's how early we are into this. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. I lost this and moved down. I was pretty upset about it. Excuse my sandals. Like I said, it's 95 out. But I guess that's fine. What we got? Oh, let's get that over a little bit. Okay, back to it. All right. Okay, so the first thing you always have to do is you have to turn this on. You gotta go in and launch your Meta app. You get your Meta going first, then you can go in. And we have to connect this to my PC. Well, this stream is now ruined because my meta is dead. Which I don't understand. It's not powered by the Type-C adapter? Son. You can go inside. I'll show you. So this is our menu. We'll pop that up first. We're coming in right now. This could be an open practice session, as you can see. Then the sim will come up there. Hopefully. I'm worried about this battery situation. I'm not really understanding. I was under the impression that this runs off of the Type-C cable. If this runs off battery, I'm actually... I'll be honest, I don't... That's an unfortunate thing to find out this late into the game here. I've set up a whole stream here. It's looking pretty good, actually. If I do say. I got a cheap mic. Kind of assuming that no one's gonna be able to hear me on this thing, but we'll see. Biggest problem with this is I've noticed, you know, my mouth height is weird in the sim. Maybe this is something I should have attached over there. Actually, kind of think if that wouldn't be a good idea. Alright, let's go. Let's get and see what we got over here. Something I'm going to have to really try to remember to do is take this mouse and move it down screen, because it always ends up in the middle and it really ruins the footage. Okay, so I don't expect everybody to know this. This is a multi-class type of race. Well, geez, I guess I don't even assume that everyone knows about iRacing. So this isn't a video game in the way that we're out here and this is just a game and all the computers are generated by the game itself. All these other cars that are not me, they are real people. So it's an online multiplayer setup the way, you know, most of you would understand games to be at this point. So why this game is specific gets a little bit more narrow than that, if you see this guy. In that this engine isn't really built for the sense of showing you a beautiful thing. As you can see, is these graphics aren't crazy. I actually have them lowered right now so that I can have a higher frame rate, which you can see up there. I'm at 119 frames, which is pretty decent for me being in a VR headset. Yeah, I do not know this track well. Ooh. That's what I was talking about. That is a higher level car than what I'm in. When the race comes around, we'll both be racing at the same time. Anyway, what's cool about iRacing is it's all based upon the physics of the car and the simulation of what these cars actually do in real life. A lot of cars and games, a lot of people think are set up like that. For example, there was a series that I grew up on called Forza Motorsport. Forza Motorsport, and it was an Xbox game, and it was just that. It was a game. But it was more focused on the realism of physics than a lot of other things that you can get at the time. And I don't mean to, you know, break anyone's hearts about this, but if you're playing Forza out there and you're into simming or any kind of like car stuff, and you think that what's happening in Forza is what's happening in real life, I just, until recently, maybe the newest rendition, I don't think we were really in the same world compared to this. And most of it was based on the physics they had because of the cars that were being raced in the game. Those cars were normal, you know, production cars, and then they simulated performance upgrades to those cars. That's not a race car. And in real life, no one's really racing souped up versions of stock cars competitively, you know, on television. You know, they're not keeping track of that. The way racing works in real life is cars that are fiercely homogulated. Homogulated? I don't know. They're fiercely regulated, in the sense for someone who's not into racing, to be similar and safe, and their handling is spec'd out in a way that is specific for racing on tracks and not in the way anything that is streetable. So when we're talking about real life, what's happening out there, real life racing, the physics implied in the simulator, maybe a set of Corsa, you know, I'm not into that. But that exists here on iRacing. Now, the other part about iRacing that's really specific to this is it's set up like a league, like you'd be in a bowling league or any kind of like you pay your monthly subscription to iRacing and you buy these packages individually. You buy the car and you practice in the car, and it's expensive, and I love it. The reason I like that it's expensive is because it keeps kids out. The exclusivity of taking this seriously so that my day is not ruined is worth every penny I overpay for non-physical products in this game. Okay? What I'm looking for is a competitive aspect where we're really trying to get out here and see what, to the closest that we have the technology to do right now, see who's actually good at this. And in the way that I don't feel children can, unless they're... Oh, sorry, guys. Well, we're safe, but that's... Ooh. And unless there's adults involved in the sense of like high school sports, etc., children, young people don't have the same. Unless they... I mean, there's exceptions to that, I'm sure, but... Sorry, man, I don't want kids out here ruin my day. Because I'm not playing other games, guys. Not really. I'm into sim racing now. Once I fell upon this, other stuff doesn't really apply to me the same. Especially in VR. Especially in VR. This is better than you guys think it is. And I'm hoping the footage of taking this in VR instead of playing on a screen really shows people that. Okay, so I guess I'm getting all over the place with what I'm wanting to talk about, but to kind of sell you on the idea that this is a great simulation in the sense of real life drivers. A few of them out there are going to agree with me that people in the Sims aren't doing bad on the track. This translates. Okay? You play Madden, you're not getting better at football, dude. There's a lot of people out there right now that do understand that if you're spectacular at the sim, you're going to be okay on the track. Okay, and again, we have real proof in this, and it's not a small-time thing. There's this guy named Verstappen, and I know a lot of you have heard of him. There's a lot of people out there that might come across this that haven't heard of Verstappen. Verstappen is currently the most... I mean, he's the best guy in F1 right now. I mean, there's going to be disagreements about that, but his time is right now, and then he's, you know... there's like Brady Mahomes thing. He's what's happening right now. And a big part of what I think is making him so great is his time in the sim. In the real life, he's the best F1 driver going right now. And in all honesty, that means you're the best driver. I wouldn't compare skill level of someone who drives a car like I'm simming right now in real life to compare to F1. Because if they could, and they showed that, they'd be on F1. I hope that's how it works. I hope the best people are in those cars. But Verstappen is a monster in the sim. I think he's, third best in the world? And for any of you that's disagreeing with me about sim racing translating to performance in real life driving, Verstappen says that there is a direct correlation, and he knows more than you. So that's kind of the end of that discussion. That's a fact. And if you don't take Verstappen's word for it, then who do you take? Will you take anyone's opinion over your own? Probably not, because you're unreasonable. That's. So in a hobby, especially one that's kind of video game oriented, it is kind of a saving fact in the back of my head that I am working at a skill, at least a little bit, compared to doing nothing. Back to the analogy, if I'm playing a game, at least I'm getting better at what I'm doing in a way that, if you played Madden, and you got better at football, people would take Madden a little bit more seriously, I think. I'm not really paying attention to my driving. I'm kind of just ranting. Yep, see. I noticed that. I noticed what I was not paying attention and immediately found out. The other thing I'll say, since I'm rambling, is if I'm going to be streaming about this content with VR, I would like to help talk about VR in the sense of the reason this isn't already taken over the world is because I really think it's one of the only products out there right now that is better than the consumer thinks it is. I think someone that doesn't have any general interest of any kind in VR is simply someone who just has never experienced it, and what they're imagining it is like is not what it is. Or they get sick from it, and that's fair. I get sick from it. I did work to get over the hump of that, and now I get to enjoy this. But I don't expect everybody to want to do that or be able to do it. Now, you should. It's sick, but I get it. But it is, especially if you're just playing video games. If you're someone that plays video games and you have the means to have setups like this, there are things coming out that's going to make VR not seem like a, arcade game novelty. It's coming. And I think seated position examples of games that are kind of rare, like sim driving and flight sims, actually. There's a game called DCS. It's a fighter jet flight simulator. So it has a competitive nature to it, yeah, skill base, and again, we're getting back to DCS doesn't mess around. The simulation of that plane isn't just flying it. I mean, you've got to really look around the cockpit and hit the switches in the right order to the way that it is in real life to get that going. And they don't care if you don't want to learn how to do it. They are committed to the simulation itself, and that's important. A lot of games suck because they're too worried about making sure everyone wants to have fun. It's not about fun. I mean, okay, what a weird thing to say. I think there's some people out there like me who want to do stuff that's not necessarily fun right off the bat. Because, like, that is very displeasurable for me. I take that personally when that just happened. I feel like a fool. Because I care about it, right? I'm not practicing this track right now because it's super fun. It's actually kind of stressful and all that stuff. I do it with the idea that someday I'll be better at it, and when I'm good, it'll be fun. Now, that's not how competition really works. There's always someone better. Until you're on the very top of things. And then you're at the very top. You're still probably going to play anyway if you love it. I mean, if you went that far, you know what I'm saying? Not a lot is going to change if you're able to do your thing. Okay, so while I'm blabbering, another explanation of why I'm doing this too is like, I'd love to stream in a way that's not so, I don't know how do I even explain it. It's not so clickbaity and Logan. I'm not even mad at the Paul boys, dude. They're working, but it's the kind of internet that is covered, dude. Acting crazy, all the, Sneeko, and what's this stuff about the kid that wears the Texans jersey? He got blown up, and it's all this drama on Barstool and all that stuff. It's like, sorry, it's like, bring back make normal people kind of famous again. I mean, no one's normal, but alright, so I'd like to start taking a look at my lap times now. I've got a general idea on the map now. Sorry, on the map, on this particular track now. It's not very I've never really seen this put through the cycle, especially for tracks for racing series that I've been able to run in. I have to explain that. So I have an A license. An A license is earned in a way not like other video games. My A license was important to me because it allowed me to be in the highest levels of this sim. Remember, it's not a game. The A license is really interesting. Well, I guess I have to explain the license system. Okay, so if you play a game like Forza, alright, you go in and it is chaos. It's unplayable, and I don't understand why people try to do it. But there is matchmaking that is based on clearly not much, or at least when I was a kid. And so the thing about racing is, in real life, you don't just wreck people like in a video game. That would be ridiculous, and it would break everything. We wouldn't be afford to do it as a concept if the cars got wrecked as the way it does in video games. Plus, in a video game, there's no repercussions. The cool thing about this... Oof. Oof. I'm bad right now. I mean, maybe, I don't even know. I'm new to this track. The cool thing about this is you have a rating of how skilled, or I guess your performance, right? How well you are placing in races, compared to an algorithm of your safety, of how clean you did it in, right? How many times did you go off track? How many times were you racing and you hit someone? I mean, how many times did you wreck people? Even like a little contact like that. And it shows how reliable are you able to execute the mission of this game, which is racing and winning. Ooh! I wish I could explain how different that feels compared to other video games. Sorry. You know, it does the math and shows how reliable are you to not mess this up for everybody. And to get to the next level, which they have licenses, each level, each rank, each whatever, you don't only have to do well, you also have to not be a liability to everybody. And they are able to calculate that. Well, they're able to calculate that, and as long as you understand how they calculate that, you'll have a better time. You'll, you know, what you can get away with, or what's more valuable in the sense of progressing in a moment, winning, or letting it happen, and maybe taking a lower place. You know, which is how it works in real life. You get to the end of the laps, and you're close. A lot of people are throwing what they were doing the first however many laps out the window, just so you guys understand. I mean, I think everyone can kind of assume that there might be a little bit more rubbing as racing when you're racing in the last couple laps of a race. Also, for my headset dying or being on 2% and saying it was a problem, like it was going to be however long ago, I'm noticing we're still here. I'm still going, so something wasn't as serious as maybe they thought it was. So I've got to learn more about that. That's something I could probably do myself a Google and find out about. Okay, so this long sweeping turn that gets steeper, I've got to learn, because it cuts right into... This feels really like walking, like a mini Watkins Glen. I kind of like this track, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of tracks I don't like. Hey, bud. I'm not going to accept that that was anything I did wrong. Oh, do I? Oh, yeah, he left because he's a little embarrassed. Okay, so that is the culture, too. What we just saw is... I don't know how to explain this to you. He did mess up. I'm in just practice. I'm not super messed up. But if that happened in a race and I was in first, and this guy just comes out of understand the complications with that. So that was actually a good time for that to happen, because I was on that topic. Like, this is just practice. It's not a big deal. But imagine if it wasn't. How fucking... Ooh, I gotta figure out how to not do that. We're learning a lot here on this first attempt at doing this. That word is going to be... I use that word a lot. It's the best word. I don't trust people who in normal life don't use that word as much as they want. Gary V had a good little spiel on that. I understand that he's not perfect either, but I do respect honesty, and I think that is at least something that someone could get behind if they understood it. Anyway, tangents. Ooh. This is a good example of what we were talking about earlier, too. I am getting a little better at the track. I'm seeing green above my head. That's always reinforcing. And although it was a struggle at the beginning, it's so satisfying to learn something. You start to feel, I mean, that sucked, but I'm starting to recognize the small bumps in the road. And even with my chintzy, crappy Logitech entry level, noob wheel. Oh, I didn't die. Sorry. With even that bad wheel, I can have a sense of immersion in that. Your Grand Theft Auto 6 is cool and all, don't get me wrong, and we'll play it. When this is real, when we're racing, it feels... I was into sports when I was a kid. I did okay in high school sports, and, you know, it's an engagement with your own mind and body that because it's happening. It's happening right now. You don't get a choice. You know, that I've only really been able to find with competitive online games in my adulthood. And of all of those, this has been the biggest competitive thrill, I guess is the word. Oof. Oh shit, I forgot what. You see? Another words. Words. I forgot I've been hot lapping. I'm only hot lapping to kind of get an idea of how I'm doing, so that when I do drop into a race later, you know, obviously I'm not going to be doing well. I'm new to this. But I can see kind of like what the top end guys that are playing, at least tonight, are doing, so I can kind of make goals, you know, maybe for the next time around on this and see what, you know, I'll probably write it down. Like, what were people getting? What kind of times were they getting? You know, I should get like a little notebook or something. You know, I'm not really that kind of guy who would do notebooks, but oof, sorry, got an itch. So those are things you wouldn't do in real life. Is itch your face and tap the random limiter while the engineers in the pits cry because you wanted to scritch your face. Do a little face scritch. And now I'm privileged in the sense of I have a little studio I'm operating in, and it's been 95 degrees outside and our air conditioning is not working, and now I'm getting the full experience of being in a hot race car in the summer. Just kidding. That's disrespectful. I was able to itch my face. Ooh. Skirt. So that's how we know that I'm not doing well, is I just kind of did myself a little hot boy skirt out of there, and we're half a second up. That's bad. Uh-oh. This is really like Watkins Glen Light. Oh! I was doing well, too. Yeah, those tires are probably not going to be acceptable anymore. Well, what lap are we on? You guys probably can't see that because that's behind the... It's behind me. It's behind my face. I'm lap 17. I think it's time anyway. Let's take a little reset. Get ourselves a fresh car. Really what I ought to do is... what I ought to do is to check the times and see if we can't maybe try a race. Which might be a little bit bold of a decision for me. Let's, Get this down where it can be seen. Okay, so I'm gonna. This is a good explanation too. I guess we could go into. This is my UI, right? And we're looking at what's available right now, which is more than that. That's for sure. But at 8:45, so in about what? Well, anyway, at 8:45, this race starts, and we know what time it's gonna start. We're gonna register for it so we can be in it, and then there's gonna be heats, and everyone's gonna be racing together. Right now, we're just practicing, and they have lobbies and that to where the people that are practicing and getting ready are still on the track together, which is nice. You can go in the track by yourself. It's actually probably better to do that, but it's lonely, so I like to be out there with people. It's lonely. So, let's see. Oh, important details. You cannot... Jeez, can't see. You can't register for the race until about half an hour before the race. So, we are going to be stuck back in open practice, so we're going to head back in. Well, I can't get out of that. All right. But now I know. I should probably check in. Let's see. In about, 20 minutes. And check in for that race. 20 minutes gives me some time here. Then, 20 minutes after that, I have, half an hour after that. So I've got like not an hour, but about close to an hour to figure this track out, which is not enough time. You need 100 laps at a place just to get. Ooh, hot. Hot. Alright, let's go. Cold tires, I was like 17 laps into the last ones, so. This is a very tricky and interesting turn up here. There's a lot of time to be unlocked for people there. I can tell, man, that's got to be a sinkhole for some people's times, man. Don't know why I'm going over there. Oh, I think it's all assumed, but I'm in the car I'm driving is a GT3 car. That is a prototype car, of which this is not. This is not prototype. Man. Oh my god. Oh. Gotta try to say that. Oh. Oh boy. Man. We're struggling. We're struggling out here. Okay. Tires are still kind of cold. Ooh. I really want to learn this. Whew, okay. I don't mean to be so quiet all of a sudden. It's starting to feel a little better. So let's see. My best was in 1:18.8. We're not doing that right now, so let's go for this next lap to be better than that. 1:18.8. 1:18.8. Ooh, that's it. I thought we died. I thought we were done. I thought that was it. Wasn't it? Oh, was it? We almost died on that. So that means there's a lot of improvements to be made. If I almost crashed the way I did and set a PR. That's twice there. Okay, I'll tell you what. I used to drive a Porsche 911 in this series, and I just want everyone to understand that this is way better. It's not as stable as maybe the Ferrari. The Ferrari is so stable it feels slow. I'm sure no one will understand what I mean by that, but okay, one more time. Let's see. There's some ugly colors on that Cadillac. I'm sorry, that was not good. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh. That was an ugly line. That was ugly all the way around. We're not doing great. Having a bit of a bad spell here. Okay. Yikes. Alright. We're gonna turn up the graphics too a little bit here. I think you guys deserve better. Let's see. Let's take a look. Oh. Confused. I'm confused. Whoa. Where do I have the graphics at? Okay. think that's a sign. Ooh. It is hot in here. Ooh. Let's take a look at the stream. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. All right. Nice. You can see nice. You can see all the marks on my head from this. Ooh, oh. Got a new camera. Shout out Canon. Got myself a little R50. Maybe a little bit too much to be streaming with, because now you guys can see the indents on my face from the VR. You know what? I kind of want to see. Excuse the feedback if it happens. I kind of want to see how we're sounding here. Yeah, we're doing fine, I think. I think it would sound better if this mic was a little bit closer to my face during it. So, well, let's see. How far are we? Ooh, how far are we? Oh, yeah, no, I need to be on top of that. Uh-oh, problems. Kind of looks like we're gonna have to be right there. Yeah. Oh, damn. Well, R.I.P. to their earlier stream, because that was not what was going on. Damn, I thought that was a good dialogue and everything too. Damn. All right. So let's let me turn the fans on a little bit. Ooh. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, I didn't see. Oh, are you not here anymore?
Yeah, that door. This is sick.
Yeah, well, you can get in front of it. It's not, I can shut the stream off. There's no one watching, it's just us.
Yeah.
I'm practicing my dialogues because I have to figure out how to do that. I need to buy those wheels, but that's pretty good. Let me get this full screen.
Is there somebody else here?
No.
Ah.
It's the feedback. Yeah, not too bad.
This is comfortable too.
That looks good.
Yeah. If you want the rolly wheels, you can grab them off of that chair. Ah.
I was doing it just because checking sound. I gotta be on top of this.
Yeah.
Or I gotta figure out maybe different